Florida state parks are great, affordable ways to experience the beautiful Florida wilderness and historic sites. And with 175 parks, trails, and historic sites, there are plenty of adventures to discover here. While Florida is best known for its pristine beaches and springs, some of Florida state parks offer experiences that are completely different from what you might expect. So today, we're going to be sharing 10 of the most unique Florida state parks we've visited so far in no particular order. We're starting off with Egmont Key State Park, a remote island located at the mouth of Tampa Bay. The only way to get to the park is by boat, and the public ferry is operated by Hubbard Marina out of Fort DeSoto Park. Once you arrive on the island, you'll find a mix of beautiful Gulf Coast beaches, wildlife refuge areas, historic ruins, and the Egmont Key Lighthouse, which has stood on the island since 1858. But the thing that really makes Egmont Key stand out is the historic ruins that you can explore. The island was once home to Fort Dade, which had more than 300 residents and featured brick roads, electricity, telephones, a hospital, jail, movie theater, bowling alley, and tennis courts. Today, you can explore the remains of the town along with several abandoned military gun batteries. There are 5 primary gun batteries on the island that were built around the same time of the Spanish-American War and used to help defend the coast of Tampa Bay. It's such a cool experience to walk around these ruins, especially if you're into historic adventures. You can also swim, snorkel, go shelling, look for wildlife, or just relax by the water. Just keep in mind that this is a remote island, so there are no stores and no drinking water, so you want to bring everything you need with you for the day. Next up is De Leon Springs State Park, located in Volusia County, just north of DeLand. Not to be confused by Ponce de Leon State Park, which is a totally different Florida state park located in the Panhandle. De Leon Springs State Park has all the classic ingredients of a typical Florida spring: crystal clear 72-degree water, a beautiful swimming area, hardwood forest, and a spring run that connects out towards Lake Woodruff National Wildlife Refuge. But the most memorable part of De Leon Springs is the old Sugar Mill Pancake House. They're famous for their pancakes here, and inside the restaurant, each table has its own griddle so that you can actually cook your own pancakes right at the table. The Pancake House is first come, first served only, so arriving early is the best way to secure a table and avoid long wait times. Beyond the restaurant, you can swim and snorkel in the spring, rent a kayak or canoe, walk the half-mile nature trail to see Old Methuselah, which is an old-growth cypress tree that somehow survived the days of logging and is more than 500 years old. Or take a boat tour through the park and into Lake Woodruff National Wildlife Refuge. De Leon Springs is a classic old Florida roadside attraction, and I would say the pancakes here are definitely a must-try. Next up is Bulow Plantation Ruins Historic State Park, located in Flagler Beach about 20 minutes north of Daytona Beach. This park preserves the remains of one of the largest sugar plantations in East Florida, and the centerpiece here is the old sugar mill. A short trail leads you through the woods to the ruins where you can see the coquina walls, machinery foundations, and the remains of the engine house. The plantation was once known as Bulowville, and it produced sugarcane, cotton, rice, and indigo. But like other plantations at the time, this site was built and operated through the forced labor of enslaved people. In 1836, during the Second Seminole War, the plantation was burned and destroyed by the Seminoles and never rebuilt. Today, the ruins feel quiet and almost hidden away in the middle of the forest. The sugar mill ruins are listed on the National Register of Historic Places. All that's left today are the coquina ruins of the sugar mill, several wells, a spring house, and the crumbling foundation of the plantation mansion and slave cabins. The Bulow Plantation Ruins is not a big, flashy park, but if you enjoy historic sites, old ruins, and quieter places that feel hidden away, this is a really interesting stop. Next up is Wachee Springs State Park, located about an hour north of Tampa. This park was built around one of Florida's deepest first-magnitude springs, which pumps out about 117 million gallons of fresh water each day. But what Wachee is best known for is its world-famous mermaid show. The mermaids have been performing here since 1947, making this another one of Florida's most iconic roadside attractions. The show takes place in a 400-seat underwater theater built right into the spring, so you'll see the performers swim, dance, and act underwater while breathing through air hoses. But there's more here than just the mermaids. The park is also home to Buccaneer Bay, Florida's only spring-fed water park, with slides, a swimming area, and a lazy river. You could also take one of the guided boat tours or rent a kayak or canoe to paddle down the Wachee River, which is one of the most popular paddling spots in Florida. Wachee is another classic roadside attraction, and I feel like everyone needs to see this legendary mermaid show at least once. Next up is Ravine Garden State Park, located in Palatka, about an hour south of Jacksonville. This park does not look or feel like what most people expect from Florida. While most of Florida is extremely flat, Ravine Gardens is famous for its 120-foot deep spring-fed ravines. The park has a 2.5-mile azalea trail that takes you down to the bottom of the ravines with historic stone steps and a couple of towering suspension bridges. Ravine Gardens is also known for its azaleas, which bloom throughout the park. During peak blooming season from January through April, the azaleas paint the entire ravine hillside in bright, vibrant colors. The park also has 5 acres of formal gardens to explore, with stonework, fountains, and picnic pavilions. This is a great place to hike the trails, enjoy the overlooks, have a picnic, or visit during azalea season when the park is at its most colorful. Ravine Gardens is definitely a unique landscape with ancient ravines and a hidden tropical garden tucked right into the middle of Florida. Next up is Homosassa Springs Wildlife State Park, located in Homosassa, along Florida's nature coast. This park is different because it has a huge wildlife sanctuary built around one of Florida's beautiful spring systems. The park is home to rescued and rehabilitated native Florida wildlife, including manatees, alligators, black bears, Florida panthers, red wolves, flamingos, birds of prey, and more. These are all non-releasable animals that are unable to survive in the wild on their own. It is also one of the best places to see manatees up close, especially because the park has an underwater observatory called the Fishbowl, where you can look directly into the spring. The park also acts as an active rehabilitation center for injured manatees. Homosassa also has a fascinating history as an old Florida roadside attraction. Before it became a state park, the property was once home to exotic animals including Lou the hippo, who became one of the park's most beloved longtime residents. However, Lou recently passed away in June 2025 after living here for more than 60 years. Homosassa Springs is an excellent state park to visit to learn about and see some of Florida's amazing wildlife up close. Next up is Devil's Millhopper Geological State Park, located in Gainesville. This park protects a massive ancient sinkhole that drops more than 100 feet into the ground. From the top, it looks like a giant bowl carved into the forest, but once you start heading down the boardwalk, it feels like you're entering a totally different world. Because of the depth and shade inside the sinkhole, the environment at the bottom feels almost rainforest-like, with ferns, mosses, limestone walls, and small streams that trickle down the sides. It's also one of the most interesting geological sites in Florida. The exposed rock layers inside the sinkhole have helped researchers learn about Florida's natural history, and fossils from extinct animals have even been found here. During your visit, you can walk the nature trail around the top of the sinkhole, take the boardwalk stairs down towards the bottom, enjoy the overlooks, and learn more about the area's geology through the interpretive displays. Devil's Millhopper is not a large park, but it's one of the most unusual landscapes that we've seen in Florida, and it feels completely different from the beaches and springs that most people associate with the state. Next up is Silver Springs State Park, located in Ocala, just east of downtown. This park is home to one of the largest artesian springs in the world and has become famous for its glass-bottom boat tours, which allow you to see straight down into the spring. These boats have been a part of the Silver Springs experience for generations, and they still are one of the best ways to appreciate just how clear the water is. Silver Springs is also an amazing place to kayak and paddleboard. As you make your way along the spring run, you might see manatees, turtles, alligators, birds, and fish. One of the most unusual things about Silver Springs is that it's home to wild rhesus monkeys. The rhesus monkeys were released in the 1930s to create a jungle cruise attraction, and today a population of about 300 to 400 monkeys still live here in the trees and along the riverbanks. If you do happen to see them, definitely keep your distance and do not feed them. These are wild animals, and they are known to carry diseases. Beyond the boats and paddling, you can also walk the trails, visit the Silver River Museum, explore historic Cracker Village, or just enjoy the scenery around the Mainspring area. If you ever wanted to see monkeys in the wild in Florida, Silver Springs is your best chance to see them. For another unique wildlife spot, now we're heading to Payne's Prairie Preserve State Park, located just south of Gainesville. This park is known for its wild horses and a free-roaming herd of bison, which you just don't see in many other places in Florida. Of course, the park is also home to the more familiar Florida wildlife like alligators, deer, and birds, but the landscape itself is part of what makes Payne's Prairie so interesting. The park protects nearly 23,000 acres of land, including wide open fields that almost feels more like the Great Plains than Central Florida. One of the most popular stops is the 50-foot observation tower, where you can climb up for a sweeping view over the prairie. You can also explore over 30 miles of trails, including the Lachua Trail and Bowlin Bluff Trail, which give you a closer look at the landscape and wildlife. If you want the chance to see wild horses and herds of bison in Florida, Payne's Prairie is a great place to visit. Just keep in mind that the animals are free roaming, so sightings are never guaranteed. And finally, we have Washington Oaks Garden State Park, located along A1A and Palm Coast between St. Augustine and Daytona. This park is known for its stunning formal gardens and its large coquina rock formations along the beach. It almost feels like two completely different parks in one. One side of A1A, you have a peaceful, formal gardens filled with live oaks, reflection ponds, flowers, walking paths, and old coquina stonework. This is probably one of the most beautiful gardens that I've seen in Florida, and everything here is absolutely stunning. Then you cross over the beach side of the park and you'll find one of the most unusual shorelines in Florida. Instead of the usual sandy beach, this coastline is famous for its large coquina rock formations, which creates a rugged, dramatic landscape. These are so fun to walk through, and it really creates some amazing views alongside the Atlantic Ocean. There are also several nature trails that you can hike here, and you can even see a section of the old historic A1A highway. Washington Oaks Gardens is such a unique Florida state park because it combines peaceful gardens and one of the most unexpected beaches in the state, all in one stop. Those are 10 of the most unique Florida state parks that we visited so far, but we've explored only about 20 of the 175 state parks, trails, and historic sites across Florida. So if your favorite didn't make it on the list, definitely let us know in the comments. Which Florida state park would you add? If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more unique things to do in Florida. We also want to give a huge shout out to our channel members. You guys help keep this channel going, and we couldn't appreciate you more. If you would like to support what we do here and get exclusive emotes, early access to our videos, and more, click the link in the video description for more details. And if you're looking for our theme park content, be sure to check out our second channel called The Q Life, where you can find all of our Disney and Universal videos and guides. If you want even more ideas for things to do in Florida without spending a lot of money, then you'll want to check out the video that just popped up on the screen. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.